الشعبي. رسالتك حتوصل للمستمعين في مواقع مختلف مما يعزز التفاعلات الهاتفة ويزيد الوعي بعلامة تجارية.
التغطية الشاملة مع محطات في مواقع استراتيجية زي الرنج، ملكال وباليت. بتوفر آي راديو تغطية شاملة بتصل إلى كل من المراكز الحضرية والمناطق الريفية. بتضمن شراكتك مع آي راديو الرؤية عبر منطقة جغرافية واسعة.
ما تفوت فرصة توسيع نطاق رسالتك باستخدام آي راديو. شارك أو أعلن معنا الليلة وخلي صوتك مسموع في جميع أنحاء جنوب السودان.
Itabasma للراديو الحقيقة اي دي اي راديو انتكم في جنوب السودان.
Okay, welcome back after the news in brief with Darlington Moses. And now we are still in Lexus State. So yesterday I was able to talk to a civil society activist, Angelina Adelma-Loyal, who is the chairperson of the Civil Society Network in Lexus State. She spoke to iRadio in an exclusive interview yesterday from Rumbek. The interview captured the developments in the state as witnessed by the civil society activists, especially on governance, peaceful coexistence, and preparations for the upcoming elections next year, where the network is exerting more effort in civic education to enlighten the public on the voting processes. Let's listen more to Angelina Adele, who spoke to me yesterday from Rumbek, Lexus State.
My name is Angelina Adele-Malwal. I'm the chairperson for Civil Society Organization Network in Lexus State. It's my pleasure to be hosted by iRadio. As you said, actually, what are those things that we need to reflect on the journey in 2025 as we are approaching the 2026? Yeah, as a civil society organization network in Lexus State, we have been so much engaged with our communities, especially on the side of peaceful coexistence among our communities. Because Lexus State has been in the center of all other states, because we are being having neighboring states with Panajar County of Unity State. We also have Warab. On the other note, we are also being bordered by Western Equatoria, Siambio, and then Central Equatoria as well. That is why I say it is center, which is needed to be peaceful, because in the center, if the state is not peaceful, it can also, make other states to be not behaving well. So as an example to other states, other 10 state and 3 administrative areas, through the advocacy that we have been doing, that is why we engage our communities to stay calm, to stay peaceful, because when they have their cattle, it doesn't make them to, fight just because they have their cattle. In case of any other things that happen within the community, especially the issues to do with gun development, they have to address them amicably rather than using violence as a mean of resolving those issues. So with us, I think as the chair, we have been going to different counties of Lake States. We have been engaging with communities of Rumbek North as well as Yerul counties, because it has 3 counties in Yerul East, Yerul West, and Awairia, and basically Rumbek Center, and part of Wulu and Shebet. With those communities, I think the advocacy we have been making is that we have to aware the community, especially when we are approaching to election in 2026. Because if the state is not peaceful, if communities are not peaceful, we will not be able to have a peaceful state, especially during election in this coming 2026. It's just a matter of 2 days. So this has been a good journey that through our engagement, I think we engage the women rights organization as well, so that they are part and parcel of the peace agreement, because the women have the other bigger part to play, in talking to their husbands, their sons, their daughters, in not composing those hate speech songs that are being composed by women, especially when they are doing the cultural activities. In the States, we have been having every weekend the wrestling teams and other sports activities have been engaged through the support of the peace partners and also the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. That has been helping us to build our relationship and that confidence and the trust that the community had among themselves. Because
give your baby the best start from day one with Mamilak, South Sudan's #1 infant formula. Mamilak infant milk 0 to 6 months and follow-on milk 6 to 12 months are packed with all the nutrients your little one needs for a strong immune system, healthy bones and teeth, and a sharp growing mind. Proudly made in Europe, Mamilak gives your baby top quality nutrition at a price every family can afford. Grab it at any shop or pharmacy near you. Mamilak, together from birth.
Without trust, people will not be able to come to town. Without the good relationship among our communities, they will not be able to visit other counties. This has been a good starting point when the governor came to Lake State, and the priority was that the state has to be peaceful and the properties has to be protected. That is the issues to do with the non-gunman has been avoided, not has been happening. The issues of random killing, revenge killing, cattle raiding has been minimized through the law that has been initiated and imposed on the people of Lake State that whatever you do, the government has to do the other part. And this is where we as civil society have to come in, not to be, given a force to accept what you want. So we have been engaging them to disarm them mentally, because a peace of mind comes out when you are settled, having a peace of mind, when you don't think of somebody that you need to kill someone, you need to go and raid someone cattle, you need to go and, revenge whatever that has been done to you. So we have been at the grassroots cattle camps, and then as well we have been with, as I mentioned earlier, that there are women that are involved in peace committees that have been taking part, because these are the right people that have lost their loved ones, and these are the very right people that have also been affected by the conflict, the previous conflict that we have been hearing all across Lake State. That by then I think majority of the people have been just saying Lake State is bleeding, but these days Lake State is bleeding with peace. It has never been bleeding with blood, though there are some things that have been happening, but not like before. These are issues of maybe gangs, and it's not like the way it happened in other states. So it's still the county, Rumbek Central Municipality, and the town, Rumbek Central Commissioner has been taking a very good steps that they have to deal with such. And this is why the state is peaceful. As we speak, you can move all night. People are coming from Barakazal, people are coming from Juba, heading to other states, have been moving freely, and they have never been attacked. Their properties have not been robbed like it's usually happens. So this is a good starting point that we also need to see 2026 coming the same way as it is in 2025. Because right now we are having the community chiefs election that has been conducted from the first two weeks, and it is still ongoing, especially the other part of the central counties, and then also Rumbek East is being taken into the same process, and as well to other counties. So this is the good initiative that we see. And we also urge the government that they should put a good procedural way that does not bring us into conflict, does not bring us to divide the communities. So the very good step is that this election should pave the way for the communities to at least see what is the beautiful part of the election. When people are elected, these people should serve with integrity, should serve their people in a way that they have to lead them with good example, rather than, leading them in a way, because these are the very people who elected them, and they have to listen to the community, deliver the services that they want, and as well to, eradicate poverty on how best people are engaged to, like in Lake State, it has been the leading state in good productions of food commodities in the state. So we said the current community elections of chiefs is a good starting point, as I mentioned earlier, that with these chiefs they can be able to engage the local communities, because these are the very direct people that people listen to. And then the second one comes now, the top authority. Because if these people are not well, if they are not elected, they will not see the people whom they are leading as their people. Because it is the very people that bring them into leadership, and they have to do the things in a rightful manner.
Yeah, Angelina, you have talked extensively of elections, and we know it is eminently, it's going to happen next year. But are there preparations for sensitizing, especially the communities, those in rural areas, about the upcoming elections? Like you say, they are going to elect their leaders. Would they, or do they understand the processes or their preparations for that?
Yes, that's why I said earlier that with the civil society presence, especially under my leadership, we have been engaging these communities before through the support of other partners like Oxfam, like UNMIS and other international organizations and national organizations present in the state. The first thing we did was that we have to go through counties to, educate them on how they have. Civic education was the best thing that we started it, because if these people are not aware on how to elect their leaders, you do the voter registration, another process that makes the election to happen. Yeah. They will not be able to understand who they want to elect and what process do you want to take as a voter that you need to elect your own leaders. So this is the first thing that we did earlier, and this has paved the way for them to understand what election means and what is the best of election when it is done to elect our own people that we want. So with that, I think we are still going to have a continued support to conduct peace and education advocacy, so that they clearly understand their roles in election and who to vote and who do you want to vote, because it's your all right. It's your all right to vote your leader. That is the leader that will give you the right things that you want, be it education, be it service like health, be it other things that, make a life better in the community. So with this, I think it's a starting point, as I mentioned earlier, that the community has to start that way. Like now they are making their campaign peacefully. They are making their campaigns in a manner that does not reflect the other violence way that people do. So it's a good move that if people are campaigning like this, you see the real leader from the point of speaking, from the point of actions. So you have to see who you want to bring as a community chief as well. The same thing. The only thing that I have seen is suppose these community elections of chiefs should have been done in the same where people are going for election in 2026. But if they have already started it, because I think that initiative came from them. If they have started it, then it's good to start like that. And else they are also coming to elect their own the top leadership authorities at the state level that be to represent them in the nationwide.
It's good to hear that through your advocacy and law enforcement, there is that peaceful coexistence and stability in the state. I'm happy to hear that. That was Angelina Adele Malwal, the chairperson of the Civil Society Network in Rumbek State, in Rumbek, Lake State. So, reconciliation, peace, and unity has been everyone's wish in the country. As a person, what role can you play to make this wish a reality in South Sudan? We know it's always said peace is a collective responsibility. Other partners have got their own roles. What about you as an individual? What is your role? What's the role that you can play to ensure peace prevails in the country, beginning with your home? and you can also add any other comments about this exclusive interview that I had with Angelina Adele yesterday. She has touched a lot of things. She has talked about elections. She has talked about the role of women. She has also mentioned why women were not involved in the current ongoing election for chiefs in the area. So it's time for me to hear from you. You can call right away and share your thoughts on the points that Angelina Adele had made in that conversation with me yesterday. Na مستمعين na itakunasma كتير من Angelina Adele هي رئيسة بداية الشبكة مجتمع المدني في رومبيك لكس ستيت وونسو كتير لكن كلام ده ركزوا كتير عن مساواة عن سلام عن وحدة ودي كلامه كل زول كلمه وكمان ونسو عن انتخابات الجاية وكتوات لمن قاملوا وهم ذاته كمجتمع المدني في رومبيك من قاموا شنو من قواعي الناس من بدري كده عن خطوات أو حاجات اللي بيحتاجوا أو بعملوا في زمن داك. ده زمن أنا بسمع مني تكون وأنا ممكن ببدأ بأول تليفون توالي ودي أو أرقام تاي.
It's a Baghdad Diamond Wenisu ma iRadio ala numera ta telefon 0911-986-986 au itabi reselu risala ala numera 0913-986-986.
أي راديو.
هلا سمير.
نعم مرحبا.
جزاك الله خير.
نعم مرحبا بك مرة الثالث.
والله. تعرف أنا مقصود هاي اللهم بام أمن نفسي في رومبا هناك. الناس جيني في واحد محل عشان كيف الدفاع كيف أنا. وأنا بدي شكرا كمان لفيس كتارات مصاد تيرات. ونجي كلام كويس جديد كلام كتير كلام كده كلام اليوم يوم نبيتور بالجنجير نبيتور سلام لنا كويس ولا طالع أقعد ياو نقرب سنة جديد كان سنة 26 لسه نبيتور كلام هو بس حاجة جديد كلام ده ما حاجة جديد كلام ما حاجة جديد جوار الله جتاون الكلام ده جاي في جلبة وما في كلام بعمله ساين يكلم ساين في بيس أجل الكلام ده ما عندي علاقة بورقة يمكن بساين تو ولا بساين تو ولا يكجي ولا بيجي كتير كوا كلام ده جاي من جلبة تاي جلبة بتاعك أنا لو من لا جا بطال وبعدين تاجي أنا جا جل تامن ده ما فوز أنا إيكاسي أنا أو ده كلام so dema the road groups wala the road to kajara ubikitia akira na specific command in community kalen je community karinde anna je tabagi community ka so ran na example le hajara mun lagde jamata sado anna fi yani de ya ta salam anna je mo ni kalin dan na keji salam dan nabi anna contribute the salam says so very simple just the community salam wala tere wala just dua wala just betta ke ita de marra ke linda ko linda nasi ni salam ide so bedden ni salam de mara wara je real ita ko ndiyenen di ndiyen salam de iran hal de iran de di salam de iran ana ke buma bi kunin di salam de buma kanai Waramin Buma, Waral Payam, like county, the state, the whole nation of Galazini, all the unity salam. One not I'll give that a few bar and talk to the Alibara, to read the bar and to it. Can I reveal the higher question? One other by going to the copy, Ajalas, Nasuka, Lambere.
شكرا كثير جوزيف كوني من لبنان كوليسا زمن أنا بشيلو تليفونات تكون time for me to hear from you. Any comments about all the points that Angelina Adele, the chairperson of Rumbek Civil Society Network, has mentioned there? Any addition from you, and what can you as an individual or as a group ensure that peace prevails within you and in the country also, because peace is not one person's responsibility. It is a collective responsibility, and this is what everyone has been saying. And now let me just look at some messages on our social media page. Desert Paul says, good morning, Mama Helen Samuel. I send you my regards and all the listeners of iRadio. I wish everyone a blessed Christmas and a new year, a happy new year in advance. I'm watching you live from Addis Ababa. George James is saying, good morning, Mom Helen, watching from Wow. Thanks to you all. John Santino is saying, good morning. Mawien Alwanga Court also says, good morning. And then keep your messages coming so that you can also be part of the Dawn Show this morning. And Gideon is saying, good morning, Madam Helen Samuel, happy new year in advance. We are fine in Jondoru, nothing else happened to advise all Christians with this word of Titus chapter 2 verse 11 to 12. Best regards. Thanks for sharing with us, Gideon, John, and still you can keep your messages coming, and also call me straight away to make your comments on what you heard from the civil society activist in Rumbek State. And also previously we've been in Rumbek State, where we listened to the young community and the leaders there who had talked about the peace conference that is taking place. My numbers are 0911-986-986, 0922-986-986, and this message is from James Moses. He's saying, good morning, iRadio, happy new year in advance. Watching you live from Cor William Jebel. Gatwich M. Atian, watching you live in Kapuri, South Sudan. Stuart Warikozu is, he wrote in Arabic, let me try, Sabah al-Khair, Junuba, Sudan. Okay, the rest has... Let me just let the rest be. I'm trying to read, but thank you for sending that message, Stuart Warikozi. And let me pick this message, call, I mean. Wow, de gatamana dugulana telefon au rasulana risala kaman ashana annabishufu inta talik takishinu bi kalam altas makulu min reisa bita mujtama al-medeni fi Rumbek iRadio. Hello. Wow. Hello. Yeah, Al-Hassan shinu kata ide bagagi gata tawali zida, lakin lisa fi fursa na bishilu telefon au mungkin interbagder kaman rasulana risala seri fi موقتنا الاجتماعية au fi ragam 0913-986-986. And you're still listening to the Dawn Show right now. We just heard from a civil society activist in Rumbek, and she had quite a number of messages there. Right now, I'm asking you, what is your role as an individual for ensuring peace prevails in your home and even in the country?
in Takum في جنوب السودان.
You're listening to iRadio.
Naam, zaman nagirwa guam wa hasa anabiga minu mbari kelivngali anazo kaman keden nasma au da fi mustashfa ta malakal kango balkida itakunasma maktab siti lakini zemil tanna obajo ko shagawa kan henako وونسو كتير ما دكتور هناك ووري أو دا عامة في مستشفى ملقال كنا نسمع ما بعده لدكتور عشان لدكتور أيزا كوان عشان تقوم بقدر كمان نكون في صورة شنو حصل. As I said, our last item in today's Dawn show is from Malakal. iRadio's Obaj Okuj had an exclusive interview with Dr. Isaac Kwong Ogilo, Director General in the Ministry of Health, Upper Nile State, who spoke about the general situation at Malakal Teaching Hospital. Let's listen to him together and also get updated.
First of all, to start with is the delay of the government salaries. It has been very common that salaries, they don't come in time. And also even these salaries is very small. And everybody knows that. Starting from the presidency down, everybody knows that this salary is not enough. So far, we have received the salaries of April. Up to now, nobody received the government salaries up to now. The other issue is the issue of the incentives. In order to motivate the staff, our National Minister of Health in 2019 have developed a system whereby we give some incentives for those people who are on the job so that they can be motivated, and also we can retain them delivering the service to our people. So these incentives, they are not just like the one paid for contracted staff. It is small, but it was helpful, and it was helping our staff to concentrate on their work, and this is how we're delivering the health services across the country in the last 6 years. Now, with the new project, the same incentives remain, and I just want to correct something. The incentive is not belonging to the donor or partner. It is actually the government of South Sudan being supported so that it can carry out its mandate by giving this incentive to our people. And this incentive, the problem that we have experienced with HSTP, that has been going for almost 18 months now. We have started it in July last year, and it is the first half is going to end on December the 31st. And the project is for 3 years. It should end in December 31st, 2027. So when it started, because of the issues that have arisen from the donors, then the incentives were not coming in time. The first 3 months, the first quarter for last year, it was paid early this year. So imagine it was paid 3 months. Not even 3 months, it was paid 2 months. The other months came later on. So we were thinking that this thing will change and a worker will get his or her incentives in time monthly, but we didn't have that. Up to today, our staff are waiting for nearly 6 months if we reach the 31st of this month. It didn't come. However, our partners are trying their level best with the government, of course, and the National Ministry and the State Ministry of Health, so that the workers get their incentives in time. Yeah. The other question you pose is this delay of the supplies.
Before we go to
yes.
I just need that clarification. You said the incentive now 6 months. We do understand in April the USA have stopped the funding. So is the incentive affected by the decision of the US government cutting the funding, or is something to do with our government here and the partners who are implementing this project?
Yeah, this thing is not related to the cut of the US funding with the coming of the President Trump. Ours came earlier than that because it was expected that the US aid will contribute 30% of the budget. and the Swedish government will pay 30% of the budget, and the World Bank will shoulder the 40% of the budget. So the three bodies would have paid 100%. And then our government was asked also to put something in this basket, amounting to 10%. So our government could not pay up to now, and the other two bodies have gone, and it is the World Bank now with the 40% shouldering the whole project.
So now let's talk about the consignment.
Yes. The consignment of medicines, usually it carries a budgetary aspect, the medicines. So it's UNICEF that buys medicine, vaccines, all this, and then it is distributed to all the health facilities. The good thing with this system is that drugs, they don't land anywhere. It goes direct to the facility. If you see the boxes now of drugs, what is earmarked for Malacan will be written Malacan Teaching Hospital. You will not get it in another country. If it is earmarked for Nasser Hospital, it will go to Nasser Hospital. And the same thing goes like that. It's not like in the past whereby drugs used to be brought to the capital and put in the warehouse, and they are just distributed from the center here. So this system is good. The only disadvantage of this system is the system that we call the push system, which we continue to advocate to change it at the level of the National Ministry of Health across the state.
What does it mean, push system?
The push system is that the partners will bring whatever medicine they get and they give you, whether you need it or you don't need it. Let me give you one example. Somebody can bring medicine for a sleeping sickness to Malacca, and we don't have a sleeping sickness in Malacca. So why do you give me this? Somebody can bring a lot of amount of drugs. For example, one time in 2012, I was in charge of CAD in Nasir. I got a lot of IV fluids. I had nowhere to store them even. And I didn't need these IV fluids mostly that time. But if you give me IV fluid in Malacca Teaching Hospital or in Juba Teaching Hospital, I think it will work better there. Okay? So we are advocating for what we call push system. Push system. The push system is that me as a clinician, I will sit down referring to my reports, the data, which diseases are common in my place. If it is malaria, I will request so much drugs for malaria. If it is anemia, I will request drugs for anemia. If it is TB, I will request drugs for TB. So at the end of the day, I will have what I really need. So this is the difference between the two systems. So we advocated for that, and we have been denouncing it. I'm in the ministry now as the DG for the last 4 years. And maybe about 3 or 4 under secretaries during my lifetime in the office. We denounce this, but still our partners, they want to restrict themselves to this push system. Yeah.
So now, did you try to talk with the national government to kind of speak with the partners to change this system?
We do, and even after every meeting, we make our recommendations, but it comes negative. Yeah.
So does it mean that this one is not affecting where we have this situation where
it is actually affecting. If you take, for example, in Malacca Teaching Hospital now, if I need some drugs, especially life-saving drugs, they may not be there in these supplies that I am receiving. And I have no operation cost, so that I can buy what is missing in this stock. For example, like Dazipam. Dazipam, we call it Valium, yes. Sometimes it is not in this kit. Yeah. So I have to look for other ways of getting it. Sometimes we don't have gloves, especially the surgical gloves. They are not there. And I'm here to operate patients. where can I get it? It's better if I request what I need. The other thing like switcher material, the stitch that we use during surgery, sometimes they may not be there. Sometimes we may not get other potent drugs, life-saving drugs, like adrenaline, like digoxin, all these medicines. Sometimes they might not be there.
So now I would like to ask, because we understand that Upper Nile State is one of the richest states in terms of resources in terms of, and last week I had an interview with the Commissioner General of the Revenue Authority, and then he mentioned that for them they collect 1 billion SSP per month as they when they collect from the tax. So, as the Ministry of Health, do you have any cooperation with other government institutions for them to come in to fill the gap where sometimes the partners cannot fulfill with the government?
Yeah, that one should actually be there. But frankly speaking, as you have said it, Upper Nile is one of the oil producing states. Unfortunately, I used to say that maybe we are unlucky, because when the oil was there, we can even see that revenues are coming from that oil, and also we can see a lot of change. Let me give some examples. In 2021, Rang Hospital, County Hospital, was rehabilitated from this 3%, and this is how it looks now as a good hospital. Malut Hospital in 2021 and 2022, it was also upgraded with this oil revenue. Yeah, and even Kodok Hospital, that has fallen out of the HSTP. At times they have some 3%, and the commissioner himself, because they don't have provision for medical doctors, they contracted our colleagues to work there. Yeah, so these were the advantage that we were getting from the oil revenue. But with the Khartoum crisis, that's why I'm saying that we are unlucky. This is where we lost the money of the oil, is not there. Coming to the local state revenue authority, we know they are collecting some revenues, and it is being used exactly. Maybe it is being used properly, but our state also is prone of insecurity. So I will not rule out that the money can be used for security purpose. That is first, of course, unless you are not a patriotic person. So it should be used for security first. The little that is left, of course, will be used for services. We were getting 1 million every month as operation cost at the level of the Ministry of Health.
1 million SSP.
1 million SSP. It was a good amount that time. We used to feel joyous when we get it, because you will see what is being done. You can have fuel for the car, you can have stationaries for this. But with the Sudan crisis, we have lost that. Nearly 2.5 years now, there is no operation cost we are getting. When you come to the Ministry of Health, we don't have any real tangible source of revenue collection. What we are collecting now is the age assessment certificate money. Very small amount. We started with 2,000 SSP, and now it has gone up to 15,000 SSP. And the reason is that the cost of printing of the certificates in Juba every time is going up according to the dollar. Now we are buying these booklets of age assessment certificate. One booklet is 100,000 South Sudanese pounds. So this is what made the price to increase. We are supposed to contribute to the government of the state 40% of that money. But unfortunately, we don't give them. Sometimes we use it for our operations. The other sources of income that we could have is the license of the clinics, private clinics, the pharmacies, the laboratories, but we have not been doing it. I tried one time, but it didn't work. I ended up with 2 or 3. And the money was very small at that time. I think it was 50,000. But this year, we are trying to do it. Last year, the state government have approved a certain figure, but our colleagues in the market are shouting a lot that this money is very big. For example, for a health complex, you pay 1,500,000. They said this is too big. And also, our state is one of the top states that are not using the private clinics. 2 weeks back, we were in a meeting in Juba. It was projected that Upper Nile is the first state that hardly uses a private clinic. So if we don't use this private clinic, this poor clinician there, who is now looking for a license, will he or she really manage to pay this money? So this is a big issue. We thought that we better go back to the government and ask them to reduce it. But we were told that whatever has been passed by the Council of Ministers is never altered again. Now we want to tell them even maybe to pay on installments. This is what we are thinking. Let them pay on an installment and we'll see how they will pay it. So these are the sources of income. The other source of income could be the work license, Kiredamal, we call it. Those working in the restaurant, the tea sellers, all this. But this money does not come to us. It's taken by the city council. So the city council has taken also other activities of the Ministry of Health, and we are left just with this one source of income. That is.
So here, the question you are receiving, are there only South Sudanese, or also there is some refugees and maybe Vietnamese who are South Sudanese?
Of course, the hospital is open to everybody, regardless of origin, religion, all. We are seeing them all.
Those were updates from Malakal Teaching Hospital. Dr. Isaac Wongo Ogilo, Director General in the Ministry of Health, Upper Nile State, speaking to iRadio's Obaj Okuju Sagawa and updating the general situation at Malakal Teaching Hospital. And with that, we have come to the end of the Dawn Show for today. We will meet again tomorrow, and I would like to register my thanks to the team behind the successful work that has happened today, beginning with Baria Johnson and Diko, who are both producers for the Dawn program, Paulino Atier, who made sure that he brings us to the station to do this great job, and also Darlington Moses behind the social media program that he brings us out, and also the rest of the team at iRadio who help or facilitate to make the Dawn Show more successful. I've been with you, Hellen Samuel. We'll meet again tomorrow. Wish you the best. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic.